Hey guys, welcome back. Another episode with you. This time I am talking to Mason of the band Stainless Steel. Go ahead and
Well,
introduce yourself, man. I'm sorry. Bassmasters.
you
Bassmasters.
got it. You got it.
You have a song called Stainless Steel.
Yes, we certainly do. Yes. Yes,
Uh,
I'm Mason. I'm Mason from BASSMASTERS. I play the drums and I do the vocals and I do the production, most of the production as well.
and your partner is, I can't remember their name.
His name is Kai and he
Guy?
plays the
Okay.
bass. He's the bass master.
So, why don't you tell me a little bit about the band and your sound?
Sure. Well, so Kai and I have been playing together music for quite a while, in different bands. We played in a sort of a punk band back in like the early aughts, and then we played in some sort of pop type bands in the 2010s, and then after the pandemic we kind of got together to do we we were in bands with other people, and finally it was just the two of us, and we went for more of a darker kind of industrially kind of sound. So that's kind of what we're working with now. It's hard to sometimes introduce yourself as like describe your sound, but I tend to think of it kind of like if Trent Reznor joined Devo and became the new singer, I think it sounds something like what we do. I also am very inspired by Frank Black, and we love
Yeah.
Viagra Boys a lot, and that's just a couple of the handful of influences that we pull in.
I don't blame you. I heard Viagra Boys when they first came out, and I was blown away. I was like, it's free jazz mixed with punk. Huh.
Yeah,
I'd never heard anything like that before, but I was pretty stoked about it. I was like, I like this band a lot.
they're weird and wild. I love their big energy, and they're really irreverent. And I just felt like, oh, this kind of music is back in style again. Maybe I should move back into embrace some of the weirder stuff that we're into. Stop hiding
Ah,
stuff.
it's not weird. Just be who you are. Nobody worries about it. We're too
Yeah,
old to care what people think anymore. It's the best
sure.
part about age.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, I'm nearing 40. I've been playing in bands for 25 years, so I've earned the right to just kind of do whatever the hell I want, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I'll be 43 this year. Been doing
Yeah,
music for a while, so I am at that point where if you don't like it, send it to somebody you hate. That's how I feel
sure.
about it. Maybe they'll
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
it. And
I always think of like I don't go for the shotgun effect. It's really the sniper. Like I'm going for a narrow audience of people that I'm going to connect with. It's going to be a small group, but they're going to hopefully be really into it, and not going for the broad appeal.
well, I mean, honestly, when you think about both of our musical backgrounds, I was in punk too. That's kind of how it is. I mean, people either love you or hate you, but either way, you're happy in the end.
Yeah, you
So,
want you want a big reaction either way, and if the flat line is where it's difficult. If you get no reaction, that's when it feels the worst, I think. So
yeah, well, that's why we got to make them have a reaction, either good or bad.
yeah, exactly.
So I will say your music is interesting. I will say that I do get heavy Devo vibes, which that's fine. I love Devo. They
Sure.
were a life changer for me when I heard them as a teenager. Um, I went from listening to like death metal, and then someone's like, "Here, check this band out," and I was like, "Devo." I was like, "What the hell?" And I played
Yeah.
it. She's the girl you want. I think the name of that song
Yeah, girl, you
was.
want. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good one. Yeah.
I was like, okay, now I'm gonna go buy all their albums and chill out with them.
Sure, sure. I like how they have sort of overarching, artistic vision, and it's loose, but it's an ethos that all their music is sort of tied into, sort of this counterculture, anti-commercialism stance that I think, resonated with me, and I was already kind of believing in the downfall of society as humanity's not doing well. I've seen that over the course of my life be proven true. And so I think I don't know, even before I knew who they were, uh, I was into their message. Yeah. And they you know, I like the sense of humor they bring to things too. I think you know, I loved Weird Al as a kid. I like comedy music. You know, I liked his comedy stuff, but I also like music that just has, you know, humorous elements in it. You know, I was a big Primus fan, so
Oh yeah.
all these bands that kind of pull in some comedic elements to them speak to me. You know, so I can't help but put that in the music because it's kind of who I am. I think it'd be dishonest to do something that was totally void of humor and joy, you know.
But you got to have a good time. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, some of the stuff I write's pretty dark,
Hmm.
lyric wise, but for me, it's a form of therapy as well. And if
Sure.
somebody can relate to what I'm saying and it maybe does them some good, then cool, awesome. But that's, I mean, for me, I think art is always like that. You're always kind of putting a message out there, whether it be goofy, whether it be serious. As long as somebody takes something from that and helps them in some way, hey, you had a bad day, listen to some Devo, you'll have a better day. They'll make you laugh. I listen to Weird Al whenever I have a bad day because you just can't. Uh, I mean, dude, it's polka on crack, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it helps.
About yeah, it's great. About once a year I revisit his music videos and I always have a great time, you know.
Dude, did you ever see the biopic with Daniel Radcliffe in?
Yeah,
That was the
I thought it was awesome. Really well
that
done.
was the funniest movie I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I thought it was, you know, that was the funniest movie since Walk Hard, which I love too. Did you ever see that one?
Oh yeah, the Dewey
Another
Cox
amazing
story.
comedy biopic with great music, you know, great songs in it, you know.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. So when it comes to your band, what inspires you lyrically? I'm kind of interested in that.
Well, like I said, I've been in a lot of different bands, and I've had a lot of times where I've, you know, sat down to intentionally write songs. And, I've done that a lot, and this band I wanted to make it happen more organically. So it's just the ideas come much slower, but when we get inspired by something, we it comes together pretty easily. You know, if it's not coming together easily, it's not meant for this band.
Yeah,
But I'd say like a lot of things come from kind of conversations and inside jokes and different shared experiences that Kai and I have. You know, we've been friends since high school, so there's a lot of shared history and you know, trauma we shared or weird people we got involved with or encountered over the years. You know, different trips and um, just all those things combined just kind of roll into the feed of inspiration for us. You
that's
know,
like
and
a.
the
Go ahead.
world is kind of jacked up, and I'm scared and angry about it, and I try to put those feelings into it as well.
Ah man, the world's fine. We all know it's going fire right now. We're
Yeah,
having a good
right.
time. It's a giant barbecue for us.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We're the meat. We're the meat.
yeah. We definitely are. Um, yeah, I don't even want to think about that. That'll send me and you on a whole tyrant that just, yeah, we deal with it enough every day and it's always in
Yeah,
our face. But
but it's nice to if you have songs where you can feed that energy into the performance and into the songs, you know, they're kind of designed for that. So the live show is very dynamic. You know, the songs are sort of simple. That way, however we're feeling, we can make the song sound kind of different that night. You know, I guess all songs are sort of that way, but ours are especially simple, so that way we can do a lot of different things with them.
what is a typical live show like if someone comes to see you?
Well, we use an extreme amount of echo effects on my vocal. You know, in fact, I kind of crank it up so that it has some feedback elements to it, which is really hard to capture in a studio setting. We found, but you know, it's chaotic and hopefully at times it's kind of startling and a little bit scary, and then at times kind of funny. You know, we try to like throw everything at different parts of the set, so that way you're always kind of caught off guard. You don't really get comfortable with, okay, this is who this band is. We try to make the audience sort of settle into under like making an assumption about who we are, and then flipping it by doing something really weird. You know, at certain points of the set. Do try to keep taking left turns throughout it, you know?
And I like bands that do that a lot. one of the bands that comes to mind is Wes Borland's band he used to have with his brother, Big Dumb Face.
Oh, okay.
And I saw them live and I was like, holy hell, I'm in an asylum. I am in
Hmm.
an asylum. But yeah, that's always good, especially with live performances. Kind of, if I go see a Nine Inch Nails concert, I know what I'm going to experience typically. If I go to see Bauhaus, I know what I'm going to experience. But if I go to see Primus, I don't know what's going to happen. If even when I went to go see Presidents of the United States, didn't know what was going to happen with their live stuff either.
Hmm.
Weird Al, you can forget about it. You don't know what you're going to get that night.
Right.
Or Guar. So yeah,
Yeah.
especially with Guar, all I know is bring a change of clothes. That's
Sure.
that's the one thing I've learned. My
Yeah.
daughter, go ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead. I want to hear your gore story.
Uh, well, involves a lot of bodily fluids. My daughter's been asking about going to one. I was like, "You're still pretty young. I don't know
Yeah.
if you should." I was
But it's,
like,
I mean, it's pretty fun. I don't know. I don't know. Gore's a funny band because they are really, brutal and intense, but it's also there's a sort of a Chuck E. Cheese element to it too, right? Like, am I
"There,
wrong?
no, you're not wrong at all. I think my wife would kill me is what it
Yeah.
really boils down to. So I feel like dying anytime soon.
No, no. Maybe how old is your daughter?
13.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, like maybe a couple more years, but that seems like prime age for Guar to me. I don't know. So if you can get past the swearing.
I cuss like a sailor, so I
Yeah.
can't really say much. I try not to cuss on the channel, but I cuss a lot. But
Well, speaking
so
of theatricality and costumes, another huge influence on me is the Residents. That's another band
oh
where you
yeah.
never know where you're going to see when you go to those shows. That every tour is like a new band, and there's like a circus sort of element to what they do. Like there's really it's hard to bring that to a tour of a more traditional band, but it's definitely a huge influence, and we've done Residents covers and things because I love them. They're one of my favorite bands.
I watched the documentary about them before I listened to their music, and I was like, I got to hear what this band sounds like.
Mhm.
And I put it on. I was like, I don't know what I just experienced. I don't know if I should feel good, bad, or did I take shrooms and not know about it by some
Yeah,
chance?
did someone poison me?
But yeah, I agree with that. That they're very influential band for sure. But it does kind of suck that they don't get as much support than what they deserve.
It's
They kind
true.
of,
It's
yeah.
true. It's true. But at the same time, I really admire their DI. They're like the ultimate DIY band. They really do everything themselves. They have an in-house designer that's done all their art, and they mix and produce all their own work, and it all has because of that, it has a very unique. It's very singular. There's no one exactly like the Residents, and I admire that and take that to heart when I'm not a billionaire either, but it's fun to own my own stuff and to really feel like I'm doing it at a high level, and it's my thing, it's my vision, and it's I'm producing it the way I intend it to be produced.
I love the picture of you guys too. I was like, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And
I
that
was
one
ex
came to me in a dream. The I got it right framed up right here. The us in the foil. Oh, it's kind of blurred, but sorry. The us in the foil masks. That vision came to me in a dream. So it's kind of interesting.
what do you take that you have dreams like that for?
Uh, Stress and lack of sleep are good enablers of that. Yeah,
I can sympathize with you on both of those. Throw in a little anxiety, you're good to go.
yeah, yeah.
So, I know you guys play shows, but do you tour any?
We haven't done any touring yet, but we're located in DC, which is close to a lot of places. So we've been down to Richmond. We've played in Baltimore up north, and we've got friends all up and down the East Coast that we hope to put together a tour maybe next year, or I don't know when the opportunity presents itself. I've found that touring is a much different animal than it was 10 years ago. The last time I was doing tours, it's Um, Everyone wants money, even like, hey, you want to come through our town? Pay me money to help you book a show. And I kind of feel like I don't want to spend money on it.
Yeah, that's I remember when that started. I think that started after COVID. It's now to the point. I know here uh in Birmingham where I grew up. I'm not in Birmingham now. I had to get the hell out of that city.
Yeah.
But no offense, guys in Birmingham. But or no, take offense. I don't really care.
Be offended.
Be offended. Um a lot of the clubs were making bands sell their own tickets,
Yeah.
and the bands would have to sell enough tickets to even make any profit because they had to pay the venue. Like one venue, a buddy of mine was, they were playing, charged them $1,500 for a show, and
Mm-mm.
he was like, he called me kind of freaking about it, and I was like, just do it in your backyard.
Yeah.
I was like, you live out in the middle of nowhere. Who's gonna care? What the local wildlife might say something to you?
It's just, yeah, it's like it's a certain point. It's like that, I have one of my other bands, the guy said, we want to turn this into a non-profit from a neg profit organization. Like if I
Almost
can
feel
break even, then I feel like that's a win for me. So spending money to buy tickets from a venue to then resell is not a good, it's not a fun, it's my least favorite way to do this. So I try not to do that.
definitely listen to your music. I'm like, man, I wish I played guitar for these guys
Yeah.
or keyboards.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
I was
well,
like,
we worked with a sax, so I guess we keep it kind of stripped down. I like the kind of minimalist sound. I like working with Kai who plays bass because you can only play one note at a time. So it really like flattens things out and opens it up, to have it just the root notes being played. We did involve a sax player for a while, a guy named Kevin Kingsley, who's excellent. Sits down with us now and then and is on that stainless steel song. But I like the duo setup. We're kind of going back to that now without him, but it is kind of set up to bring someone in. So we might work with a guitarist at some point. We've talked about it.
okay, cool. I mean, I definitely like what I've heard. Um, so are you guys gonna release a full album or
Not
new
we don't have any
mixtape?
plans to do it right now. We've been putting
Okay,
together these. We found a way to do an affordable way to do 7-inch vinyl, which is you only have 4 minutes per side. So really, we usually do an A side, which we think is like a really killer song, and then we've done some covers on the B side, or we'll do like an experimental thing or a remix on the B side, and
okay.
I just find it's a really nice like at a show. I found CDs. We've been through them all. We sold cassettes, when they were big, and we sold CDs for a while, and we were looking at the big albums. But I don't know. They're so expensive to produce that I think this cheap 7-inch is a nice. It's almost like I think of it as like an art print. As someone who really appreciates our music, we do these really limited runs. We'll do like a run of 5 copies, and that's it. We're never gonna make more. So if you buy one, we sign it and we number it, and that's your copy. And I feel like I feel like it develops a special relationship with the music when you know that it's a special piece, you know?
I would agree with that. I really like your artistic integrity. You're really I like it a lot. That's more people need to think like that when it comes to art instead of just kind of forming to what people want. Don't That's the thing I like about being a musician. If I write it, it's for me. That's it. I'm trying to please myself only. I don't care what other people think. Like, I mean, like I've mentioned before, we do what we want to do because we want to do it. If it's
Sure.
weird and interesting, awesome. If it's completely serious to ourselves, okay, cool, not a problem. But like I said, when you replied to my message and you sent me the link and I was listening to that and I was like, I could jam out to this and
Hmm.
just kind of chill out. And my wife, not my wife, my daughter heard some of it and she was like, what the? I was like, just go
Yeah.
with it. Just go with it. It's all you got to do. Just kind of go with it.
Mhm.
Speaking of your 7 inches, where can people find copies of those if they want to order them? Can they request one to be ordered?
Yeah,
or
we do sell them on Bandcamp. We're on Bandcamp, so I think it's just Bassmaster. It might be Bassmasters DC. If you search Bandcamp Bassmasters, you'll find us. But we haven't we normally say they're available at shows only, but we do sell them on Bandcamp as well.
okay, I'm going to put for the audience at home, all their links will be in the video notes because you have to support these band. Um, wow, that was my German accent coming out there. Uh, you
Like
have to
it.
you have to support this band. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, but um, I definitely want to make sure that people can have access to all your stuff because what good's
sure.
an interview if you don't, show your audience where they can get the band's material.
Yeah,
But I would definitely make sure. And then when you guys do a full LP, um, I will bring you back on the show because I want to definitely listen to that hardcore. And then you explain to me what drugs you took on which track,
yeah,
how many evil rituals did you have to perform. but but yeah,
yeah, sure.
um, no problem, dude. Hey, I'm happy you responded. It's good. I mean, I like all music. Don't get me wrong. I like all music. But every now and then, when you get one of those just kind of sticks out to you, you're like, okay, yeah, that's awesome. That's something I can kind of like tuck away, you know. But
Sure. Well, speaking of rituals, one interesting story that we sort of feel bad about is, we have a song called "Don't Get Sick," and I do all the graphics for our work, and we try to have big, you know, uh, like pieces like stage props that are big iconography of things that I've designed, just because I think it's a memorable way to, people will remember those kind of big graphics that are, bold and we decided to take Nurse Joy from Pokemon and put a new face on her body, and we were trying to think about what figure did the most damage to the American medical, like to health in the United States. And we picked this guy who seemed to be slowly going away, RFK Jr. We picked him in the early, certainly after 2020. We're like, this nut with the worm in his brain is about to be forgotten. So we put him on that, and all of a sudden, he's now the head of the HHA in the United States. So I'm sorry about that, people, but we didn't intend for that to happen. We were trying to pick someone that was insane that wouldn't be forgotten, and not someone who is now running things.
yeah, you could actually get into trouble for that. So
Yeah,
that latter part, especially.
yeah, yeah.
But anyway, is there anything you'd like to say to our audience?
Don't get sick. That's our that's our advice for surviving the new world of how healthcare works in the United States. Just don't get sick, and then you're going to be fine.
I like that. That's a pretty
Yeah,
simplistic message, actually. I can roll
sure.
with that. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. I've been talking to my friend Mason of the band Bassmasters. Be sure to check out the song Stainless Steel. I like it a lot. If you don't like this band, that's fine. Just let me know. I'll come over to your house with a tack hammer and we'll fix that real quick.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Dave. I really appreciate it, man. Mason. Oh my God.
Oh, no problem. Yeah. Thanks for chatting. Yeah, it was great.
No problem. All right.